My name is Ann Quirk.
And you work in the town of Barnstable?
I do. I'm the town clerk here. Some of my fondest memories. How about getting into Hyannis and going to F.W. Woolworth's, sitting at the counter and having a cherry Coke? That's right up there for me. Going to the beaches, going to, just to come into Hyannis. It was a big deal. I'm a water baby. I love our beaches. I think we have some of the best beaches, and I'm really kind of partial to the south side beaches because of the ocean. Sure. But we have some beautiful beaches. You can walk on them. I'm not somebody that sits in the sun, but I do love to swim. So those are my favorite places.
Any of the beaches?
I don't remember drugs, first of all. I don't. I honestly don't remember even in high school. The biggest thing in high school was you got caught smoking a cigarette. So that's, to me, is a huge change. Another change that I see is that there's a lot more for children to do today than when we were kids growing up. You had your sports at school, or you had your church. Your churches usually had some kind of a youth group, and you had things to do there. But now you have HYCC. You have a great community center now. I absolutely do, especially for the kids. It's always been an issue. I think everybody would say that. Going through school and then after school, okay, what do I do with myself? I have a job, but I'm not old enough to really go any place where there's alcohol. So that's a great location. They have a lot of different things going on for different age groups. It's perfect. My first real job in the town of Barnstable was working for New England Telephone on Ocean Street as an operator. Cordboard and the old paper books that were massive to look up information. So it was, in those days, it was information. It wasn't directory assistance. And there was operator for everything else. One of the really strange things that some people know and some people don't was that on that cordboard there was a direct connect to the compound, the Kennedy compound in Hyannis. I think right now we've made a lot of changes in Barnstable. HYCC being key as one of the nicest newer things that we've done. But now that I'm so involved here, I see so much more than I did before. We do a lot in this town. The senior center has a lot of stuff going on. The HYCC, the schools, there's so much involvement. It's wonderful. Well, first of all, there were typewriters. There's no more typewriters in the town clerk's office. Most of the stuff we can do on a computer. But we still have to save every original document. So space is a huge issue for any town clerk's office today. We have to have all of the originals in paper form to this day. The voting changes, we've gone to electronic machines that counts the ballots as you put them through. As a kid, I remember sitting at night after a presidential election and sitting on the opposite side of the table from a gentleman, and we each took turns reading the ballots and checking them off, and we hand counted everything. Today it's all electronic, and it's so much easier and so much faster. On a presidential election, you could be working on it till 3 o'clock in the morning. You missed the newspapers, you missed everything. Today, once we have the results, which is usually within about a half an hour to an hour after the close of the polls, we put it right up on the website.
Sure.
And we notify all the radio stations that have asked for it, so they have the results right away too. We like to think of ourselves in the town clerk's office as the Google of town hall. We get questions for, there are things that have been asked and we have to stop and really think, where would they get that information? We deal with people looking for deeds. We deal with people who want us to help them find a school or a daycare center, or people calling all day long, gee, did I pay my taxes? It happens, it's all day long. Yes, I am a justice of the peace. We do them in the wintertime very often in this room, or in inclement weather. If it's a nice day, we go out underneath our wedding tree out there in the front, where there's beautiful green lawn, big beautiful trees out there. And the plantings, some of the plantings in front of the school administration building, it's gorgeous there to have a little wedding ceremony. I'd have to say being sworn in as town clerk.
That had to be one of the highlights of your life.
That was a really, it was a really special day because Linda Hutchenreiter, as a justice of the peace, because she had retired as town clerk, she swore me in, and that was a very special day. My mom was here, she's 93. Can't ask for more. No, I love it all. It's so much fun, and it's a great place to go, and you really feel like you're up close and personal with the people on the stage. It's a big difference than being in a huge amphitheater. Fall.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, it's Indian summer. The beaches are still beautiful to go to. Remember, I was brought up here on the Cape, so my parents were very clear with us to be very tolerant of the tourists and the traffic and the issues that happen during the summer, because for a lot of people, that was their bread and butter on the Cape. And there were people who made all of their money in the summertime so that they could live through the winter on the Cape. Everyone that's grown up on the Cape should experience some other areas, whether it's vacation or a job or a temporary situation if they've gone away to college, and then yes, come back to the Cape. I would definitely say come on back to the Cape. It's the best place to bring up kids. We have a great school system. We have facilities and activities for all ages. My grandchildren love to come here. They can't wait to go to the beaches, and they love to go over to the HYCC. It's something they don't have in their town, and for a lot of kids, that's a huge thing. You have to really think about it. It's idyllic to grow up on Cape Cod. How many places can you live that you can be at the beach any day of the week you want it to be? Seriously.
Sure.
It's gorgeous. The ocean is right there. I don't think there's anything quite like Cape Cod. Ooh, 1967.
And things have changed since then.
Holy cow, yes. Yes, things have changed quite a bit since then. First of all, the size of the classes, the amount of people that are on the Cape, the changes on Main Street, the changes. I remember when Lorania's bookstore was here, and Woolworth's and Zayre's and W.T. Grant. I mean, there's been huge changes on Main Street, and you know, really, it's a good-looking place. You think about it. Look at that. You walk down that street. It's beautiful there. My name is Ann Quirk, and I'm the town clerk.